Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the Vet Club, Tim, Storm, and APOC. Gentlemen, how are y'all doing today?
Well, other than not getting the victory, all said pretty good. Man, I didn't get hurt. He didn't get hurt.
Well, but here's what you didn't realize. We did get the victory. We did get the victory. JT LaMotta sent somebody to the ring and changed it. Because in reality, what's happened is, I don't know, on the DVD, I don't know if you watched the match, the commissioner made a change in the referees. The referee who was the official referee did not make the count.
And they did put their hands on Rick Manning, who is a legitimate legend in the sport of professional wrestling, especially in Texas.
You're not going to see us cheating?
No, we don't have to.
Unholy. There you go. I'm sorry.
Well, what y'all just said about cheating leads me on to my next question. At Setting the Bar 2, what Rick Manning did raised a lot of controversy between fans and the Unholy Complex. Did y'all have anything to do with what Rick Manning did, or did he do it by himself?
Well, I hate to answer the question in a roundabout way, but here's the deal. First off, we didn't know Rick Manning was going to do that. I don't blame Rick Manning for doing that. Because what you need to understand and what they need to understand is it is not about the Vet Club. It's not about the Dark Circle. What it's about is professional wrestling. And what you're seeing out there in the wrestling world today, in the independent wrestling world today, is what we're calling flip and flash. And that's not wrestling. That's a circus act. So Rick Manning got in the ring and he made a decision on his own that just happened to fall in line with the Vet Club. He understands because he's been there and he knows what professional wrestling is. He saw stuff that it's basically, he was the ringleader in the circus. And he looked and said, you know what? It's time for the acrobats to get over with. It's time for the real wrestlers to take over.
Nobody wants to watch monkeys doing flips.
Go to the zoo.
Absolutely. And the reality is that Rick Manning is a grown man, just like Storm and APOC are grown men, and we made a decision. We made a choice. He made his choice. We made ours. We're out to save professional wrestling. Call it a back in the dark ages. What?
Crusade.
It is a crusade. We are on a crusade to save professional wrestling. We're starting in Texas. We're taking it abroad. We're taking it tomorrow. We're taking it to Ohio, and we're going to save professional wrestling one independent promotion at a time.
Y'all have traveled up and down the roads of Texas, the country, and even the world together and as singles. How do y'all see y'all going forward as a tag team?
Here's my, I don't have a long-term vision. This is my brother. This is my best friend. We've been doing this for 16, 17 years now together. And you're right. We've been all over the United States. We've been to Canada, we've been to Africa, we've been to Mexico, we've been to China. We're still planning on going to Japan. What we see ourselves as is professional wrestlers. Mm-hmm. And everywhere we go, we are not necessarily an ambassador for an organization necessarily. We're an ambassador for the sport of professional wrestling. And it's not being able to do a flip. Because where I grew up, that was called gymnastics, and you wore leotards for that. You didn't wear any shoes. When you go back in time, the caveman did not do a 450 to get away from a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He didn't do a springboard drop kick to kick another caveman. It was man-to-man fighting. That's what I see us as. Yep. We're going to save professional wrestling, not just one promotion at a time. One wrestler at a time. And they're either going to fall in line or we're going to leave them laying like we have the Unholy Complex.
Absolutely.
And one final question that has been asked, and I was asked to ask all the wrestlers this question. If you could go back in time from any generation and you could work with one person, who would it be?
Wow.
As a tag team or singles?
Ooh, as a tag team. Okay, because that's two different questions. I'm going to call. Let me make my call. You make yours. If I could go back and work any tag team in history, I would love to work Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, who I believe are two of the most legitimate, tough guys in the business, brain for the business. And you can call them the Four Horsemen. You can call them the Brain Busters. You call them what you want to call them. That would be my dream match as a tag.
As a tag, I would be kind of in the same era, right? I mean, the Briscoe brothers, any combination of the Four Horsemen, individually, you know, my personal idol, favorite wrestler is Shawn Michaels, which I don't know if you know this. But we've both been in a ring with Shawn Michaels. So I've kind of already lived that one. But if I was going to go back and wrestle, I would go back even a little bit further to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat in his prime, Macho Man. I think that would be a great singles match. But then going back, Luthez and some of the legitimate forefathers of professional wrestling, get in there and roll around with them for an hour to see literally who is the better wrestler and who's the better man. That would be like a dream come true.
And as you said, that what I asked was actually 2 questions. Now, as a single, who would you go for?
Okay, there's a reason we're the vet club, so I'm going to go back too. Man, I think I would love. I'm split. I grew up being a huge Dusty Rhodes fan. Now, obviously, if you look back at that time, Dusty Rhodes wasn't the greatest athlete in the world, but he could go 60 minutes. But I'm gonna push that aside, and I'm gonna say that my dream match would be Ric Flair, 60-minute time limit for the NWA World Title. Pick your venue.
1978, 1983, 1985. Any time there, this man right here would take Ric Flair to the limit.
I would love the opportunity.
And what about you?
It's so weird. It depends, right? I mean, they're all different styles of matches. There's all different styles of wrestling. Honestly, just for the nostalgia, I would love to meet Kerry Von Erich in the middle of the Sportatorium, and same era, 1985, late 80s. Just because just the electricity of that venue and that family and that persona. Going back, to my heroes, who wouldn't love to wrestle Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania in 1990, right, or 89? And that's the thing, right? And that's our answers should be different than everybody else's that you interview, because everybody else is going to say John Cena or all the new guys.
There's a reason we're the vet club.
We're taking it back, right? And it's not because we're a little bit older than everybody else. It's because that was how wrestling was initiated, and that's how it was started. And that's what it should be, and that's what it should be going back to. And I think that's what the fans are asking for. They're pushing for wrestling to get back to stand in the middle of the ring, punch you in the face, punch me in the face, see who stands at the end of it.
Well, fans, there you have it. I'm Sean, and I'm here at the Vet Club. Tim Storm, APOC, and this is another Backstage interview.